This is a video of the check for understanding. So the first question, I think everyone's going to have the same one, unless it's even the first question is scrambled. But so use what you know about Pascal, about the triangle and binomial expansion to match each letter to the number that should be in its place. So to find A, you're going to add these two numbers together here. To find B, you're going to add these two together. To find C, add these two. And to find D, you're going to have to find B first. And then whatever B is added to 35 is D. So these arrows are indicating I'm adding these numbers together where it's connected here. This is where this V shape connects. At the top is what you're adding together. So 6 plus 15, that's what A is. 15 plus 20 is what B is. 1 plus 7 is C. And then you get the result of 15 plus 20, put it here. And then add whatever B is to 35 and you get D. So that's question 1. And then question 2, which of the following is the correct expansion for 3x plus y squared, a quantity to the 4th power? Well, if you want to do something to the 4th power, you look at Pascal's triangle. So let's look at Pascal's triangle here. If I'm doing something to the 4th power, I'm looking at row 4, starting with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is this one right here. 1, 4, 6, or 1. So the coefficients are 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. All right, so I'm going to do 1 times 3x to the 4th power, and then y to the 0, y squared to the 0, and then plus, excuse me, 4 times 3x cubed, and then y squared to the 1st, and then plus 3x that squared, and then y squared, and then plus 4 times 3x to the 1st, y squared to the 3rd, and then plus y squared to the 4th power. All right, when I multiply this out, I get 81 x to the 4th plus 4 times 27 would be 108 x cubed y squared plus 9 times 6 is 54 x squared y to the 4th plus 12 x y to the 5th, or y to the 6th, sorry. Y to the 6th plus y to the 8th. So looking through the answers there, it's this one here. So right off the bat, I can eliminate this one and this one because this has a coefficient of 3. So it's not going to be x to the 4th. So this first terms are all the same. And then I can eliminate this one because it's not going to be 36. So now you're between these two. And this would be true if this was to the first power. You would have x to the fourth, x cubed, y, x squared, y squared. But this is to the second power. So that changes these here. So notice this is y squared, y to the fourth, y to the sixth, and y to the eighth. So since this is a y squared, you multiply each of these y exponents by 2. So 2 times 4 is 8, 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 2 4, 1 times 2 is 2. So you could just use a process of elimination and you have to do all this work, and you could still get that answer right there. All right, in the next grouping, this is going to come up randomly. So if I want the m cubed term, that's going to be the second term. And I can use Pascal's triangle again, or I could use this little formula up here. Well, using Pascal's triangle first, so we want something to the fourth power. So starting with row 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're the same as the previous problem. 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. So 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. And since we want the cube term, so this would be the fourth, this would be the cube term right here. I have 4, so 2m cubed times negative 1 this is 2m cubed, the whole thing cubed. Let me rewrite this here so I get a little bit more room here. So 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. All right, so this would be 1 times 2m to the fourth, and then negative 1 to the 0 power. So we don't really need to write that. And then, so the next term is going to be 2 or 4 times 2m cubed, this whole thing cubed, and then negative 1 to the first power. So if I multiply this out, I get 4 times 8m cubed times negative 1, which would be negative 32m cubed. So it says write the numeric value only. So find the coefficient. This would be negative 32. The second way I could do the problem is use this little formula here. So n is the power here, 4. And then r is 1 less than the term you're trying to find, or the way I would get a 3 here is 4 minus 1. So this would be a 1. Or this would be the 0 term. This would be, negative 1 to the 0 and then negative 1 to the first. So, or 2m to the fourth and then 2m cubed. So I want the second term in the expansion, and r is going to be 1 less than the term number. So if the term number is, if I want the second term, then my r value is going to be 1. Or this would be the 0 term first term, second term, third term, fourth term, or R is. So let's go through it, just suggesting what R is. So R would be 0 here, R would be 1, R would be 2, R would be 3, R would be 4. So if I do 4, 1, and then my A value is 2M, so 2M, and then to the 4 minus 1, which is 3, and then negative 1 is my B value, and my R value is 1 here. So I should get the same answer. 4 choose 1 is 4 factorial over 1 factorial times 3 factorial, and 2m to the third power is 8m cubed times negative 1 would be negative 8m cubed, and then 4 factorial over 3 factorial is just 4. So 4 times negative 8m cubed is negative 32m cubed. So either way, if I use the row idea, that's this here. If I use the Pascal's triangle, the row 4, because this is a 4, or you're counting down 5 because you're starting with 0, is 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. Okay, and then the other way is use the combination method. I'm just trying to find one of the terms. Instead of expanding this all out, I just want to find one term where n is 4 and r is 1. Okay, let's do one of these on each page, because these are going to come up randomly when you do the check for understanding. So the next one is you want to find the coefficient of y x cubed in this expansion. So if I'm looking at my x value is ascending, and this is going to be the same as my r here. 3 is my r value, and my n value is 4. So 4 choose 3. And then times my a value is 4y, and that's going to be to the first, and then my x to the third. All right, so, or I could use the fourth row again. So first of all, let me calculate what this is. So it's 4 factorial over 3 factorial times 1 factorial, and then 4y to the first is just 4y x cubed, and then 4 factorial over 3 factorial is just 4. So I got 4 times 4y x cubed, which is equal to 16y x cubed. So the coefficient is 16, or the same with the Pascal's triangle again. So if I go back to Pascal's triangle and I want row 4, which is the fifth row down, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. So if I do 1, 4, 6, 4, 1, and I want the x cubed term, so this is x to the 0, x to the first, x squared, x cubed is this coefficient, so 4 times 4y to the first power, and then x to the third. So I multiply these together, I get 16y x cubed. So either way I do it, I still get the same coefficient, which is 16. All right, so use Pascal's triangle binomial theorem to find the coefficient of a squared. So if I'm looking for this, and my n term is 5, so this one I'm just going to use the binomial theorem. So my n term is 5, and if I'm looking for the a squared term, my r value would be 5 minus 3, so my r is 3. So I have 2a to this squared times 1 to the third. So 5 choose 3 would be 5 factorial over 3 factorial times 2 factorial. 2a, the whole thing squared would be 4a squared times 1 is still 4a squared. So when 3 factorial is going to cancel up here, and I have 5 times 4 divided by 2 times 4a squared. And then 5 times 4 is 20 divided by 2 is 10. So 10 times 4a squared, I get 40a squared. So my coefficient is 40. And then once again, I want to find my b term. So that means if this is a 1, that's r is 1. My n value is 4. R is 1. My a value is 3. So 3 to the 4 minus 1. And then b to the first power. So 4 choose 1 is 4 factorial over 1 factorial times 3 factorial. And then 3 to the third times b. So 4 factorial over 3 factorial is just 4. So I have 4 times 27b, which would be 8 carry 2, 108b. And then the x squared term here. So n is 5, and r would be, so x squared term would be, this would be 5 minus 3, gives me a 2. So 5 choose 3 of x to the second, and then times 2 to the third power. So 5 choose 3 is 5 factorial over 3 factorial times 2 factorial, and then times 8x squared. So this is 5 times 4 over 2 times 8x squared. This is 10 times 8x squared. So 80x squared. So the coefficient is 80. And then I'm just going to do one of these. So x to the 17th would be, my n is 20. And then how do I get a 17 here? Would be 20 minus 3. So this would be, r would be 3. Or it's actually the fourth term in this expansion here. So we have x to the 20 minus 3 times 5 to the third. So 20 factorial over 3 factorial times 17 factorial. And this is times 125 x to the 17th. And this here would be 20 times 19 times 18 over 3 times 2 times 1 times 125 x to the 17th. So I need my calculator now. So 6 into 18, this would be actually, we cancel these. 6 into 18 would be a 3. So going to my calculator, let's get a Desmos. So I'm doing 20, 20, get this out of the way here. 20 times 19 times 3, and then, so back here, 20 times 19 times 3 times 125. So is 142,500. So big number there. And you want this coefficient here. All right, I'm gonna stop the video there. I didn't do every single problem, but most of them.